is oral insulin and nasal insulin with the subcutaneous injectable insulin. The significant aspect is it is highly comparable with both the subcutaneous and our nasal and oral are highly comparable with subcutaneous one in both the cases. Except in the oral one, the glucose reduction, which is very important factor in the diabetes control, is a gradual one. It's not a very highly swinging up and down. In subcutaneous one, there is a sudden drop as compared to the oral one. There is a gradual drop, and even nasal one also there is, and highly comparable one. Next one, please. So in all this, if you see what is called as the top incidence, how well comparable your oral insulin, nasal insulin with the subcutaneous insulin. It is what is called as relative bioavailability. The relative bioavailability, which is almost comparable to nasal insulin, subcutaneous insulin, is 77%, approximately 77% in case of nasal, and 91.48% in case of oral, which is unmatched by any other company in the entire world. That is what made us the exciting and the reason why we are actually requested to come and see. This is the beginning of the new era, as we see in the treatment of diabetes, both for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. That is the most important part. It's not just for type 1 or type 2, both for type 1 and type 2. Why am I saying type 2 also? The insulin, if it is available in any other form other than injectable route, that is the drug of choice. I'm telling you as a doctor, not as a scientist or anything. If the patient comes to me with a diabetes, if there is insulin that can be given as a tablet or like this, I would choose that first. In the absence of that, then I go for a lot of other oral diabetic drugs, like metformins or biovenice, we call it different types of category, those tablet form, because insulin is not available. If the insulin is to be available as a tablet, I will give it first, because it's not available. Now, if we can deliver the insulin by a simple route of a spray, then I choose all that. Therefore, I say type 1, type 2 diabetes also, this spray is going to revolutionize the treatment of diabetes. And just going back, just giving you a small glimpse of what else we did in the past. We did it, several studies, please go on, I already said it, all various dozens of studies, and go on. Now, we have done studies even on what we call GLP-1 peptides, liraglutide, exenatide, etc. You must have heard, I'm sure many of you are journalists, you should have heard, there's a big news about one particular drug called semaglutide in the treatment of obesity, similar to liraglutide. As I speak to you, another company, I'm unfortunate because we signed down confidential agreement, we can't name the company. We have active dialogue with another big company in, let's say, Pacific Asia, South Pacific Asia, for liraglutide as an oral delivery. Again, we'll be coming out with this one only, simple. For liraglutide for the treatment of obesity. Liraglutide can be given both for obesity as well as for diabetes. But dosage regime, treatment regime is completely different. And we have done the studies on teriparatide, which is for osteoporosis. Because of the want of time, which we don't want to really take too much of time, we are not presenting all the data that we have about monoclonal antibody that we already generated with a drug by name Humira, that is useful in ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, etc., etc. So we have done dozens and dozens of studies, but we did not want to really display everything here at this stage, but we'll take it at a future time. For today, what we are focusing is only on oral insulin. The oral insulin delivered successfully, unparalleled, bioavailable by any other company so far, and we have the global patent, and we keep on filing new patents all the time. Patent filing is a continuous process.
Have you taken any permission from Government of India?
We have already applied.
Then it will be come to in market.
No. Now, Can you please carry on?
Yeah.
I'll answer to you in a minute. Yeah, sure. In order to, please forgive me, I'll come back to your question in a minute. So, when we are actually developing a kind of technology like this, we also look for the challenges ahead and how do you overcome it. One of the main challenges is how do you assure the supply of your insulin for a minute. And the person sitting, my colleague next to me, is an expert in insulin production actually, with hands-on experience of producing commercial level of insulins. So we are actually already established a unit, already doing it, and we are backward integration of insulin production also. Next one. Now, your partial answer to your question is your revenue model. We are actually the insulin diabetes is required for two, which we did. Let us be honest, confessing. We did not anticipate entering into the pet care market in the initial stages. But because we got so much of interest from the Western world, because in India I don't think pet care market is that big, but Western world is a huge market. It's about $2 billion diabetic market. And we are actually in active dialogue today as I speak to you. I hope to come back to you very shortly on that. Is for diabetes for pet care market. And that is what we plan to launch around 24-25. For humans, we will be probably in 25-26, not before. I hope I answered your question. 25-26 on. 25-26 for the humans. For dogs and canines and for other animals, probably 24-25 itself. Because we are already in an active dialogue, we have done the necessary studies and we've proven it.
Have completed human trials on this?
No, that's why I said 25-26.
Process is
Human trials is good.
so generally insulin is measurement is a single dose level.
No. Insulin is a hormone, sir. Any hormone, regardless of anything, is always measured in units. So we convert milligrams or micrograms into units and then give it. So we give it at a units level only. Any insulin, you have to give it only in units. Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So different categories are there in insulin system.
Well, there are different categories in the sense that if you ask for different categories of insulin, there are basically 2 or 3 different categories of insulin. Long acting and short acting. If you put it in a very simple, crude term, there are short acting and long acting. Short acting are aspart insulin, lispro-insulin, recombinant human insulin, etc. And long acting are like glargine and some other things. Because of if you understand the mechanism of acting, long acting, and the difference between short acting and long acting. Long acting is like a depot injection. When you give the injection, it will deposit itself underneath the skin and slowly gets released into blood circulation. That's why it takes a very long time. Here, when you give like this, if you want to give the long acting insulin, it's not possible, sir. Because we can't deposit in the intestine, we can't deposit in the nose. Whereas, even if it is short acting insulin like lispro or aspart insulin or human insulin, because it's a very convenient one, where you don't have the injection, I don't think there's any problem taking every day as a spray. So that's how we actually overcome the problems.
Sir, actually, generally insulin injection is powerful or this one? How will you compare both?
Sorry?
Insulin injection and this one, which is the best if it is
Successful.
That's the whole idea of giving you bioavailability. So far, there is no comparison. Until now, there is no comparison. Because the insulin is available only as injection. So today we are talking about, probably your question is loaded in slightly different way. Are you going to compare with the injectable ones? I think the answer will be dividing them. we'll separate them into non-injectable route and injectable route. Injectable route probably will slowly try to shift them away to one side, only to those who require long-acting insulins, to leave to the doctors. For those who require regular insulin, I think the choice will be, at least if I am the patient, I would prefer this, because there is no injection. And it's as good as the injectable one. I think that's the question, the answer you are looking for. Is it as good as the injectable one? Yes, it is as good as that. That's why bioavailability is important. That's why the glucose reduction is important. That is where insulin levels are
It
important.
goes to directly in blood now. That's why.
Yes. See, if it is nasal, can you just go back here? If it is nasal, the reduction here, the insulin is actually going up very quickly, and the reduction is a little bit more faster. Like this one. Whereas the oral one, which is very important, is a gradual reduction. Gradual reduction is very important in the treatment of diabetes for some other reason also. When you go to see the doctor for diabetes treatment, apart from your glucose and level, I don't think they will ever do C-peptides and insulins, but they will do ask for every 3 months to come for HbA1c, glycosylated hemoglobin levels. In the glycosylated hemoglobin, is always depend upon a swinging blood glucose levels. In a patient where diabetes is not well under control, or there is some day it goes up to 200, some days it goes up to 80, some days it goes to 160, where there is swinging glucose levels, that is uncontrolled diabetes, improper management of diabetes. HbA1c levels are beyond 6. It should be around 6 or 6.5. But it should go up to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 also. In those patients, that's because if you keep on giving even regular insulin, it may not really come under control. In those diabetics where there is irregular diabetes control, in those patients where the hemoglobin levels are high, believe me, you will see a lot of diabetic complications arising out of it. Even the patient looks all right for time being, but long-term complications are much higher. When you're talking about pains in the legs or abscess in the legs or some other diseases, lipid levels being high, all kinds of complications. In those patients, hemoglobin levels, glycosylated hemoglobin levels should be well maintained. That's where this our oral insulin is extremely important, where gradual reduction of glucose. That's where it actually scores over your injection.
What will be the price differences between?
I think I leave it to finance person.
As of now, we haven't done the pricing once we reach to the commercial level. We will do it, but we are targeting not much variation from the existing injections. Which are available.
Sir, the unit come up with Hyderabad?
Yeah, currently it is in
What is the capacity?
See, we are at pilot scale right now. So we'll be setting up an integrated biotechnology park. So we are scouting for the land and all.
This is first research in Hyderabad and world anywhere in the world is going on.
Sorry.
This is the first research application like this in Hyderabad.
Yeah, no. There is a treatment, there is a research going on for insulin by oral route for several years. Not here, not only here, various other companies. You must have heard about several companies. Almost every company, even after launching, they went down. Probably you recall Pfizer's, way back in 2008 or 9 or 10, where they actually announced they spent $1.8 billion as a pulmonary spray. It was on the record. And Dr. K. Kodeswara, who said that it will fail. The reason why it will fail also gave the indication. Insulin is a growth hormone. The amount of dose that they are given by pulmonary route at that time is about 120 times. Imagine even if the diabetes comes under control, let's for a minute. Imagine 120 times the dose of the normal injectable dose. As a growth hormone, it actually inflames your lung tissue leads to a lot of other complications. It's a growth hormone, comes as a growth hormone. So it was quickly withdrawn after 6 months. They laughed at me when I said it will fail, and then quickly withdrawn. The second one, excuse me,